Welcome to the Monday, June 8th regular business board meeting of the Board of School Directors. I will turn the meeting over now to Dr. Marseille.
Thank you, Dr. Van Lynch. Some of you probably saw me with this really big grin on my face as I was walking in from the back room, and not that I don't love it when we have a large audience. I love when adults come, but when our students have an opportunity to come to our meetings, it's really exciting, especially when Senator Briggs comes in and talks to us and shares with us around this particular time every year our essay contest award winners for There Ought to Be a Law, and I've always fascinated at the ingenuity of our students in terms of their thinking. So with that, I welcome you, Mr. Briggs, and the podium is yours as we go through It Ought to Be a Law.
Great, thank you, Dr. Wagner. It is always a pleasure to join you tonight. This is the 6th year that I've co-sponsored There Ought to Be a Law contest. For the members in the audience, we invite all the 5th graders in the Lower Merion School District, public and private, Upper Merion School District, and those are the 2 main districts in my legislative district, and the Norristown School District with redistricting. Some of us call it gerrymandering. I have a small sliver of on the other side of the Schuylkill River up through Jeffersonville, which is proud to represent. Some years we narrow it in on a topic. Some years we keep it pretty broad, but generally we invite 5th grade students to come up with an idea, write my wife and I and Dan behind me, Dan's my body guy, and a couple other guys on my staff, read the essays and kind of judge them based on creativity, persuasion, trying to come up with work in writing as well as introducing them to government and politics and what it really would take to get something passed into law. This year we focused a little bit on the environment, came up with something that an idea that would make your classroom, your town, or your state or world a cleaner place, and we really came up with impressive ideas. We had over 400 students participate. A large number of them came from the Lower Merion Narberth area, and we have, I think, 9 finalists and 1 winner that came all from Lower Merion area that we invited. Waldron has, I think, 2 students, and Torah Academy I was at the other day. So very quickly, we asked them, just because it's such a great crowd, we asked the students to come up. As I say your name, I'm going to give a quick sentence about what the essay is. If you could work your way up and then kind of stand in front, and then as we all collect, if Robin Van Lynch could come and take a picture, that would be terrific. And then we'll all leave and make your meeting go much smoother. But Daniel Novick from Gladwin, if he could come up, he had a terrific law that actually Dalen Leach has introduced a few times, which would ban plastic bags due to the damage of the environment. Eugenie Luck from Gladwin also. We require all mail be sent electronically. That's great. Alessandra Pollock from Gladwin would require the use of green seal stamped cleaning products. Maggie Carr from Waldron Mercy Academy. It would reform how the state treats pesticides to prevent harm to the public. Which I have a 9th grade daughter, and when she was in the 5th grade, she wrote a very similar essay, which my wife said I should have made her a finalist as well, but out of my interest of not offending people and getting reelected, I just gave her a good pat on the back. But it was a great idea then, and it's a great idea now. Adjuke Hayburn from Waldron Mercy, a law that would conserve clean water. Cindy Parson from Waldron also would expand the plastic recycling program in the state. Janet Spingarn from Penn Win a law that would require pavement to be at least 50% permeable to lessen the risk of flooding. Rye Miller from Penn Wind, a law that would ban highly toxic pesticides. And I don't think she is here, but Chloe Saulnier from Waldron Mercy would have a ban, which is actually something that we're working on, at least coming up with language, to ban genetically modified organisms from the food supply, GMOs. And it took, this is a process that I used to think being a teacher sounded like it was a lot of fun. Being a teacher is a hard job, and all the teachers that participated in getting the students to do this essay, I want to thank them all the schools in the district. But we spent weeks and months going through the essays, narrowing them down, trying to come up with the one that really did represent what the intent of the contest was. And so Sophia, who is standing next to me, had a terrific idea. She's from Penn Win, and it's ranked a little bit. And it was, you have to understand where my mindset was when I was reading this. It was probably one of the snowstorms the first time, and then a couple weeks later when the potholes started growing, it was the second attempt at kind of narrowing down the list. But her idea is to ban the use of road salt during the winter months, which would, and when the essay went through what the chemicals and salts that they use for de-icing, what it does to the water, what it does to the soil, what it does to the roads, and then the harm of repairing the roads into your cars. It really was a very well thought out essay, and it was definitely the best timing for me to be judging it. So thank you so much. If you could just go there. So Sophia and her parents, part of the contest, the whole every student who participated really showed me that our future is definitely bright. They're definitely creative students. Some things it's frustrating because there are things that should be a law, and when I started thinking about how we would get it to pass, Harrisburg is probably not the most friendly place these days for issues related to the environment, but it definitely inspires me to fight a little bit harder in Harrisburg. But Sophia on Monday and her mother and father are going to come to Harrisburg for a chunk of the day to do a great tour that I'm proud to spend a couple hours with, and lunch and come onto the House floor. The budget, usually June is a crazy month dealing with the state budget. Unfortunately, things haven't really started heating up yet. I've been fighting for what Governor Wolf's agenda is for a lot of it, and unfortunately we really haven't gotten focused on that yet. So we might have some decent quality time together to spend Monday during the day. But I want to thank you for letting us recognize these terrific students. Thank you for putting me on the agenda. Robin, if we could do a quick picture, and then we'll duck out this side door and we can do individual pictures out back.
Thank you. Take care.
Do good.
Thank you. At this time, we wanted to invite Mr. Potton to the podium. I know there's some wonderful things that are always happening at Ballard Kinwood, but this is the time where we give an opportunity for you to share with us what some of those things are.
Well, thank you for having us this evening. I'm going to ask that my first group of students come on up, because what we're going to share with you tonight, as Dr. Marseille said, there are many wonderful things going on. I lost the mouse. There it is. Sorry. Many wonderful things going on at Ballard Kinwood. And in thinking about the presentation for this evening, trying to really narrow and focus and highlight what it is we wanted to share, I kind of looked at it as what were some things that might be somewhat unique and fairly new, but also that really had a great experience for our students, because that's why we're here and that's who we're about. So I have 4 students with me who will share with you their experience with regard to specific student activities. But before we do, I also wanted to know, I did ask Ms. LaPerre to hand this out. One of the things that we're very proud of and that I really would like to highlight, although with the amount of time that we have, I figured I'd just put it in paper, is the amount of service that we do and the various service activities. And really our focus when we talk about service at Ballard Kinwood, we like to look at it as service back to our community. So there are a lot of different activities that we do that are some of which are highlighted here. And that I think I'm very proud of in terms of how the students have continuously sort of stepped up with regard to that. Now, we have 2 student activities that we'll be presenting this evening. The first is Model UN. Now, Model UN is not new, so to say, probably to anyone, but it is fairly new. We were in our 2nd year, and so without further ado, I will turn it over to our students. All right.
Hi, I'm Ari Kasman from 8th grade, and I was in Model UN. I think it's back too. So, Model UN is an assembly of educated students in which students pick from an agenda of current political issues, and they're given months and weeks to prepare for the conferences. And pretty much, they pick a country, and they find their viewpoint, and they research and prepare and try to find a way to resolve the issue from their country's standpoint. The meaning of Model UN is to have kids research and find all these different ways to resolve current issues, especially when you're in a room filled with other students who've done the same thing for the same amount of months, and involves critical thinking, and you have to really use a mix of political education and people skills to find a resolution with these issues. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Asheda.
So in preparation, I asked in terms of specific questions of the students, and the first was, why they joined, why were they interested?
Well, hello, I'm Ashada Bombay. And why I joined Model UN was a 7th grade teacher, Mr. Jeffrey Lee, invited me because he thought I'd like it. And for me, at least, it's been one of my best academic decisions of the 8th grade. Why I was drawn to it originally was because its use of debate skills, analytical thinking, and just the overall community, because a lot of friends that I've known for a long time are doing it. And how it's really helped me throughout school is its use of research, and it's really broadened my horizon for the political context of the world. Because usually for us, it's very a strict way of research that we do, but for Model UN, we had to use a lot of worldwide context. Like, it's the first time I've used news sources from the Middle East, which is very interesting because me and Ari were doing the Syrian civil war. So that was very interesting for me, and that's why I was drawn to Model UN.
And the last 2 questions that the students will speak to is, I asked, how did Model UN benefit them? Okay, and and what exactly their experience was like. So they will speak to that.
I'm Juliet, and I joined Model UN in 7th grade in January, and I continued in 8th grade. And at first, I wasn't totally sure if it would benefit me. In 7th grade, we kind of pretended to do work and didn't really take it seriously. And then in 8th grade, it was completely changed. The conference was very different. In 7th grade, we were in groups, and our group had a country that was very insignificant, and we just kind of like wrote a position paper and then kind of just sat in the conference room and listened to everyone as they, were really amazing at this. And we were just like, hey, we're here. And then in 8th grade, we were each assigned our own individual country. And I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do terrible. And I've never really done this before, actually. So, at first I was really terrified and nervous, and then my teacher, Mrs. McFarland, don't know where she is, but she's here. She really, really pushed me to do the best that I could, and I'm so glad that she did. And she really recognized that this is such a good experience for me. And in the end, my country was China, and I was doing the Syrian refugee crisis, and it turned out it's a big country, and it's really it's a really big deal. And so I had to stand up and speak, and so I did, and it was amazing. And I was I learned so much about other people and about this topic and about myself, and I feel like that's really the best experience that could have happened. So yes.
Hi, I'm Olivia Bartrand, and should we go on this? No. And one thing that Model UN really helped me with is it had a great balance between things that we had to, I guess, worry about. It is it's laid back in the sense that we have a lot of time to prepare, so you can really focus on things and not rush all about. And but you also have to be very tense, and that's also preparing and in the meeting. You have to always be focusing on your topic. You can't let your real opinion slide into what you're saying. It has to be what your country is saying. And so even if you want to, for example, my country, we wanted to help the government of Syria, and I had to stand up there and I had to say it. And we need both of those when doing MUN in general, because without being laid back, it would be kind of hard to listen to you, because you have to talk and you have to really understand your audience and relate to them and help them understand what you're trying to say and get them to want what you want. And without the tenseness, we would just be teenagers with a placard.
Initiative with your experience?
For Model UN, my experience was overall very positive. Well, with my own classmates, it was for most of us it was our first time. Me, Ari, was our first time, so it was kind of tense, and for us a lot of last minute studying and making sure that we were ready, and they just trying to be the best that we could on the first day out. And even though we were since we were noobs, I guess, the other schools and the two college students that kind of helped us through were very respectful and helped us out and kind of showed us the ropes. And another thing I really liked is just the overall Boston area. Since we got to travel a lot, we went to Harvard Square. Our hotel was very nice, so that's so there was some experience I liked about Model UN.
Good job.
Okay, thank you very much. What I'm looking forward to hear is in terms of how they move forward. I know they're looking to hopefully continue it at the high school level, but also in terms of at Bala-Cynwyd, the group will continue under the direction of Ms. McFarland, who I know is here in the back, and who has been instrumental in getting this started in 2 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
The second activity I'd like to highlight, and that is unique to Bala-Cynwyd, and actually in this case unique to Bala-Cynwyd and Welsh Valley, is the key of she, and I had mentioned this once before, but I'd like to invite Emma and Olivia up to speak.
Hello, I'm Emma Noel,
And I'm Olivia Hugart.
and we started Key of She.
Key of She is an all-girls jazz group created to encourage and inspire girls to be involved in music, especially jazz, due to the lack of women in this field. Emma and I are both members of our school jazz band, and we have such a positive experience in it, and we wanted other girls to feel the same way, but in an all-girls community.
How it came together. It was our idea. We spoke to Miss Neff, the music director at Ballackinwood, and Mr. Potton, who thought it was a great idea. So we took the initiative to create a mission statement and to get together the girls from Welsh Valley and to Ballackinwood to play.
Our mission is to support and encourage girls to play jazz and further introduce jazz culture to girls all around. We have noticed that there are not many girls in the jazz program, so we have made the Girls Jazz Club to inspire change.
Our group is welcoming to any other jazz girls who would like to join, and we hope this program will bring more girls into the music industry. Where we're going. We played at the Welsh Valley Jazz Festival and the TEDx Lmsb conference. We also contacted the International Women in Jazz group, who were very interested in what we have been doing. Next year, we are electing one 7th grade and one 6th grade official to take over the Key of She Jazz Band when we go into high school. We also would like to make it an official club at Lower Merion if we can.
So we're on social media, so make sure you follow us on Instagram and on Google+, email us, and we also have a newly published website, so you can leave comments, questions, or ideas for our group in our comment box. And we also have an article written by the Mainline Times by Carrie Kelly, who interviewed us, and it's a very good article, so you should check it out.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. I hope and I believe you can see why we selected the two groups. As I said, the experiences that they had, both in terms of Model UN with the conference that they had this year, how it gave them really perspective beyond just their world here at Ballackinwood, and also again with the Key of She, not just branching out to the larger community with Welsh Valley, but also to student created and really growing and in a very positive way. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Potton and students. And thank you, students in particular, for your courage and commitment. Just hearing about your experiences and what you're bringing to the district makes a real difference, and certainly is a highlight on a late Monday night as we do our business for the Board of School Directors. So again, we're quite proud of your accomplishments, and we want you to keep up the good work. So thank you again.
Thank you, thank you. I can't stop smiling. There's grins been on my face since I walked in. Wonderful accomplishments, and I want to echo the sentiments of Dr. Van Lynch that these experiences we don't take lightly, we don't take for granted. So it is really a testimonial to the commitment of this community to offer and continue to offer those experiences. It is our fabulous staff, the ones who are sitting and standing in the back, who continue to provide that level of inquiry and engagement to our curriculum, and obviously, of course, our Board of School Directors who remain committed to ensuring that those experiences take place. So wonderful things happening. It speaks to our strategic plan in terms of identifying bright spots, which are already happening if you think about that, and thinking about how do we expand that experience for all students. So thank you again. So we're going to move along and continue the celebration and the acknowledgement. We have two teams here with us this evening to honor two state championships teams from our district who will come and speak briefly. So the first recognition goes to our tennis team. Last month, Lower Merion High School boys varsity tennis team defeated Upper State St. Clair 3-2 to capture the first state title since 2007. And third in the program, I know, yeah. Still waiting for my state championship title. I think it's too late. So congratulations. Along the way, the team also won the District 1 title. The Aces kept getting better and better as the season progressed and caught fire in the playoffs, where you really want to catch fire. Avenging an earlier loss to Conestoga and defeating state champion Shadyside. The team had knocked them out of the last two state tournaments. In the state finals, Lower Merion swept singles matches as senior Simon Vernay and sophomore Matt Chen and sophomore Thibaut Werner helped propel the team to a stirring, hard-fought victory. So I want to take this time to please welcome Coach Dave O'Connell for some additional comments about the accomplishments of this wonderful team.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you stole my thunder there, well, for some of it, but that's all right. Thank you to the school board and to the administration for inviting us here tonight to give the team recognition. I'd also like to thank our AD, Don Walsh, who's been for his interest and support of our team since I took over as head coach. I'd also like to thank my assistant coach, Elroy Houston, who couldn't be here tonight. He's been sick for a while, but he was a real support. He's support all year, and his involvement in the program certainly was evident. Most of all, I'd like to thank the parents. There have been a lot of evenings where we wouldn't get back till 7:30, 8 o'clock, and if they still had dinner on the table or the guys went out to Chipotle or whatever, it's a different schedule because we'd be moving around a lot. In my 45 years of coaching, I've never been more proud of a team of mine than this one. But this was not only because of our championship, but also the type of young men they are. They work hard, they play hard, and they respect their sport, which to me is the most important thing. Sportsmanship and involvement in our sport is very important. The state championship was a culmination of 4 years of success and disappointments. As you said earlier, Doctor, we lost to Shadyside 2 years in a row in the quarterfinals. So our word this year was, let's take the next step. And they certainly did by beating Shadyside, Abington Heights, and then Upper St. Clair. And we finally reached our goal, which has been in our minds for the past 4 years. We also won the district title, as was mentioned, and it was great to beat Conestoga 3-1 after losing to them in our first match, because this was one of the things that I've talked about from the time I took over this job, is a team concept. Sometimes it's hard in tennis to talk about a team, but I think that's the real reason. I've been preaching about this for a while, and it paid off this year. Thanks go to all my players, not only this year, but the last 4 years, because they bought in, and these kids bought in too. A special thanks to my captains this year. Simone Vernier, our leader by example. Henry Gall, our fitness leader. He kept us in shape, running the stairs, and our weight, he was our weight guy. And Nick Legg, our spirit leader, who would always be the last person to speak before we broke the huddle. We had a very good blend of senior leadership with a group of talented younger players. One of the best compliments I received was from Mr. Walsh after we won. He said our team seems to be developing a family atmosphere. I believe this has been the key to our success, that we care about each other, that we pick each other up when someone's down, and that, I think, is the real benefit of athletics, is to work together as a team. Thanks again for your support and recognition of the team's efforts. I would like to invite the players up as I call their names to come up and just receive the accolades from the crowd here tonight. All right, and because we have enough room now, I didn't know if we would before. I was going to have them stand up, but my seniors, Simone Vernier, Henry Gow, Nick Legg, and Josh Dion. Come on up. Our juniors, Lucas Cruiser, Dan Same, and Simon Shintop. Our sophomores, Matt Chen, Jordan Robinson, and Thibaut Vernier. Thibaut's not here tonight, though. And our freshmen, Jared Robinson and Omaseshan Adabambe. I want to give an applause for them because they were a joy to coach, and I enjoyed it. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you're going to let me in this picture? I won't do this.
Congratulations again. We're very proud of your accomplishments. You do us proud.
Thank you. Our next state championship recognition, and I have to say that you can't talk about state champions without, at the end of that sentence, talking about Science Olympiad. It's just synonymous now. But I think even with that, and the experience of these students, that they continue to rise to the occasion. It is extremely difficult to maintain that that legacy and that history of winning, because everyone is chasing after you vigorously. So the tradition of excellence continues. The Heritage Science Olympiad team earned its 17th state title at the 2015 State Science Olympiad at Junita College. Yes, I said it. It is 17 state titles. The win propelled them to nationals, where they finished among the top 10 teams in the nation for a record 20 consecutive years, outclassing much larger regional and admission-based schools. Harrington State Championship tallies one the most in any team in Pennsylvania, academic or athletic. This year, they captured 7 gold medals and 6 silver medals at the state level, one of the most dominant performances in team history. At this time, I'd like to please welcome our coach, Margot Lesh, to introduce some of the members of the team tonight.
It's an honor to be recognized here tonight. Heritage Science Olympiad team completed another year bringing exciting, real-world science to the students in our district, and we have a lot to show for it along the way. Science Olympiad is a team science competition where a group of 15 students tackle 23 different science and engineering challenges. While we're proud of individual accomplishments, it's our team score at competition that determines whether or not we move on. From our invitational tournaments, where our underclassmen got the chance to carry the Heritage banner against other varsity teams, to the National Science Olympiad tournament, where we competed against the best and brightest in the nation. Heritage placed first at our Southeast PA qualifying event, and first in the Pennsylvania State Science Olympiad tournament, regaining the state championship after only one loss in the last 17 years. Most recently, we've returned from Lincoln, Nebraska, where we placed 8th in the nation in a very tough competition containing the best teams in the country. We had 4 groups of students win individual event medals at this event, and 2 of those groups won gold medals, which earned them not only the distinction of knowing they are the best in the country, but also multiple scholarship offers. The University of Nebraska and the Milwaukee School of Engineering are so impressed with these students that they've offered nearly $500,000 in scholarship money to convince those students to attend school there. We'll see what they decide. So I'm going to call up the members of the 2014-2015 Harriton Science Olympiad State Championship team. So when I call your name, if you guys could come up to the front. Emmanuel Bonin, Riley Bova, Gabriel Bruno, Eric Frank, Chris Fulton, Charlie Mackenzie Smith, Pranab Pillai, John Powell, Felix Serlin, Lucas Serlin, Daida Sharma, Connor Todd, Drew Briskin, David DeBellis, Eitan Ginsberg, Morgan Hewler, Mason Zhang, Julia Schlaff, Chris Kartsanis, Aileen Lavelle, Royce Lee, Sango Park, Sarah Root, Ricky Sayer, Jordan Shapiro, Miranda Wager, Isabella Weiler, Thomas Devlin, Isabella Igoa, Benjamin Feldman, Brianna Fontak, Katie Lewis, Hannah Mayberry, Thomas Mackenzie Smith, Elise Valadou, Anthony Zhu. I would also especially like to recognize and thank our graduating seniors and our captains. Jamie Song, Rafe Haber, and Seth Schaefer, and then our senior co-captains, Miriam Lee and Sam Davis. Okay, now that we have them all up here, for the record, at the National Science Olympiad Tournament, the astronomy gold medal went to the team of John Powell and Connor Todd. Who have also been voted by their peers to be the captains of next year's team. And in the event of protein modeling, Jamie Song, Daida Sharma, and Sarah Root came in first place as well. It's a privilege to represent Harriton and Lower Merion School District in this competition and the fine job that it does in science education. We hope that we'll see you back here again next year. Thank you.
I can't say it too many times tonight, but congratulations to all of our students this evening, especially our Science Olympiad students. Thanks so much for all your commitment.
Yeah, I want to echo that. Thank you. I know people are leaving, but want to put it on the record how proud we are of their accomplishments and the way in which they represent this community with honor, class, dignity, and then put an exclamation point on success. So it's a special group of students, and we thank them for that. I do want to say this, though, that you know, there are good coaches and there are great coaches. Great coaches set the condition for athletes to excel in competition. And special thank you to both of our coaches, Mr. O'Connell and Ms. Lesh, for their wonderful work. Because though we have great students and great athletes and great competitors, it really wouldn't take place unless they've created the condition for that. So I want to congratulate them on their success as well. Thank you. Thank you. So at this time, Ms. Judy Vitri, I'd love for you to come to the podium. Did you win a state championship title or
Absolutely.
no?
I think several.
Several.
Technology is not one of them. I just want you to know that on Sunday, Dr. Marseille heckled me about my inability to use a cell phone, but that's okay. I managed all right. First of all, I wanted to just say before I start the issue for your approval of the grants that it must be so rewarding for all of you to be sitting here this evening, because the reason why all this takes place is because of you and really the policies that you set and the tone that you set in the district. So, you know, my congratulations to you. I always end up here in June because of when the grants come. And, you know, I sort of forget what's going on because I don't check the agenda. And then I see all these cards and think, wow, you know, everybody's here for the Education Foundation. But then I realize when I walk in that it's with the kids, and how nice for me to see some of my students from Penn Valley who were, well, from Penn Valley and from Belmont Hills that are up here accepting. So at this time, I will get on with sort of my normal business. On behalf of the Foundation's Board of Directors, I want to thank the board again for another year of your support. You do it in so many ways. I know you do it in spirit, but also you do it by physically being at our events, which we really appreciate, and by, you know, your donations, because everything that we do, our goal is to give back to the district and to support the mission of Lower Merion School District. I was very excited for this grant cycle. We received 19 grants, which is a lot. And what was interesting about the grants was, and what really struck me as a retired educator, was two things. One is the creativity of the teachers and really their willingness to go beyond what's expected when you read, you know, what they're trying to do for the kids. And also the idea, the tone, you know, you're creative when you feel like you have the ability to be creative. And that's the environment I feel that we have in the schools. So I was excited in many ways. Unfortunately, we can't, you know, certainly support 19 grants. So I want to present the three that we would like your approval this evening. And I also want to thank Marcy Hockfield, because Marcy sat with me for all 19 of the grants we went. And is George here tonight, Trey? Poor George. You know, I sent him, no, George is a great guy, but no, I don't mean that. But, you know, he's sitting there, and I sent him these emails like, help, you know, because so many of the grants are technology grants. And it's like, you know, I want to make sure that we would never approve something that the district couldn't support. So, George, I thank you for your patience with me. I have a very slow learning curve, so it won't change in the future, George. I want to start, we had two Welsh Valley grants that we would like to reward. Kevin Ginsberg is a sixth grade teacher at Welsh Valley in the Artifacts program, which is really a thematic arts program. And what Kevin requested, which was sort of, well, it's not funny, was a quadcopter with a video camera attached. And so I didn't sort of really understand what it was all about. So I Googled it, and you can buy one on Amazon. That's what I thought was funny. Anyway, quadcopters are sort of like drones. Don't get, you know, this is different than a drone, a little different. And what Kevin wants to do with it, which I think is fascinating, is because the students do so many projects and they're video projects, he wanted the children to have another perspective. And what better perspective from when you have the perspective from above? So this is going to be amazing. And also, it will be used in the total school. So there are other projects that will happen at Welsh Valley that will take advantage of this. We would like to award him $1,375.95 so that he can purchase one. The next program, or the next proposal from Welsh Valley, was Michael Sullivan, who is an 8th grade science teacher. And evidently, Michael developed and brought another aspect to this 8th grade science program, which is this aviation physics piece. So what he would like us to do is to provide for him the flight simulation system that would accompany. And he's been working with aerospace engineers at Boeing who developed the simulators and the computer software. So he will also be involved in the program. Sounds absolutely fascinating. All 8th grade science students will have access to it. And that is for $4,000. So things are going to be flying high next year at Welsh Valley Middle School in only the most positive ways. The next grant was Belmont Hills Elementary School. Barbara Johnson, who is the challenge teacher at Belmont Hills, submitted a grant for bringing robotics to the elementary school, which is wonderful. It's called Loco Robo, and it was developed by a professor at Drexel. I don't know if you ever have seen them. They're these cutest little things, these little robots that the kids can program. They put them together. They really developed some really good digital skills using them. And the nicest part is you use them every year. It's not, we look at grants that can be sustained. They can be shared with other schools. So Barbara's planning to use them throughout her program, but also targeting, she's starting next year, a science girl group, and she currently has an engineering group for boys of color. So she's really involved in the after-school STEM program. And that will be for a cost of $1,794. There's some information that you don't have. This isn't really a grant, but I did want to share it with you. We are awarding $500 in seed money to a teacher at Penn Valley. Jennifer Kehoe is a special ed teacher who would like to bring a walking program to Penn Valley. It's called the Mileage Club. And the reason the foundation would like to do that is because Penn Valley has been so supportive of our run, and because it's a really good thing to have kids out there walking and being rewarded for it. But we're viewing that as really just seed money. We did not award her total grant. So at this time, I would like the board's approval of the 3 grants that we would like to provide to the teachers.
Judy, we really want to thank you for your ongoing commitment to this work. And I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I'm trying to be very objective. We do have some of the most innovative teachers in the country who are consistently pushing the envelope in the way in which they provide experiences to our students, which you see the product of that with earlier acknowledgement. So we're really happy that the foundation is really to pick up in areas that we may not be able to and support financially, but support in spirit. So we do want to thank you for your continued commitment and work in allowing our teachers and our students to add to that richness that we provide through our traditional curriculum. So with that, I do recommend that the Board of School Directors approves the attached Lower Merion Educational Foundation Grants Awards.
I too want to thank Judy and the administration for the work around the grants and congratulate the grant recipients for jobs well done, and we look forward to the implementation of the grants with the students. So are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again, Judy, for your leadership.
Summer. Can we go home? Thank you.
Okay, we'll move now to audience recognition for agenda items only. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment, please come sign in with Ms. LaPera and let us know your general vicinity in the district, and there is a 3-minute time limit.
Hello, and thanks for a moment. My name is Mary Pat McFarland, and I'm lucky to be a resident of Marion, a teacher, a coach, and a parent of 3 children who have graduated in Lower Marion School District. Ironically, I'm the parent of the young man who wrote the Astronomy Science Olympiad gold medal test, and I thought that was great today, and worked for Judy Vitri, so I feel very welcome today. I really wanted to just say thank you to the board because you approved that trip to Boston for my Model UN students. And it was life-changing, really, for them. It was wonderful. Something that, I mean, you heard what they said. You know, I walked into a room, students were part of the Kennedy cabinet debating the Cuban Missile Crisis as if they were right there. I mean, it was awesome. In another room, when Asheda and Ari were working on the Syrian refugee crisis, the college students rushed in like they were ISIS. And all the countries there had to solve that problem on the spot. I mean, it's high level, it's that critical thinking. It so tails in with our strategic plan, and I know your goals for the students and our goals. It's an amazing experience. So I really wanted to say thank you for approving that trip. Thank you to Jason Potton for supporting this club. Thank you to my co-coaches who are not here, Dave Lloyd and Jeff Lee. And thank you so much to those students. You know, it really is everything we want our students to experience. We have proposed Model UN at the high school. We have reached a couple roadblocks there, and I'm really hoping that that can be resolved, that, you know, there's a sponsor, and those students, because we have 40 students ready to move on, and then they can find that kind of level at Lower Marion High School, and I know Lower Marion wants that too. So I'm really hoping Model UN continues, and thank you so much again.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, we want to thank you because this could not be possible without your work and your commitment to this, and we'll speed up the process with Model UN at the high school and see what we can do to support that as well. So as we move and continue into our agenda items.
So now I'll move to routine approval of the minutes from the following Board of School Directors meetings. Approve the minutes from May 18th, regular business board meeting, and accept the following committee meeting minutes. June 1st, Joint Policy Curriculum Committee meeting, and June 4th, Facilities Purchasing Committee meeting. Are there any questions at this time? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Additional motion, the Board of School Directors recommends that we retain the services of Dr. Christopher McGinley on an as-needed basis at the rate of $950 per day, approximately 8 hours per diem. Any days in excess of 7 must be approved by the Board President. Are there any questions at this time? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Marseille with the superintendent update.
I want to go to the next human resource agenda item. My update was part of the presentation for the tennis championship and science Olympiad. So we'll move right into the human resource recommendation items. The superintendent recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the human resource action as listed in the attached exhibits HR 1 through HR 4.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We will now have the report of the Curriculum Committee meeting by Dr. Gilbert.
Thank you. Actually, there was a joint curriculum and policy committee meeting on June 1st. I'm going to present the summary of the curriculum portion of the meeting, and then Mrs. Robinson's going to report on the rest. So the main presentation was on the Elementary Math Acceleration Process Review Committee, and this is a follow-up to discussion this is a follow-up discussion to the change in the math sequence, really focused on refining the criteria for placement in the accelerated math program. As a reminder, the math sequence was changed from the sequence that existed in 2012 to 15 to provide an opportunity for students to accelerate in grades 4 and 5, and to provide multiple options for students to access Algebra 1 content by offering 1 and 2 year options. The Math Acceleration Reviews Committee's purpose was to review our current math acceleration practice and student data and to make any recommended changes. It was comprised of 25 members, including parents, teachers, math specialists, building and district administrators, and I'd like to thank everyone, and in particular, many of our parents who shared their time on this committee. After a review of the relevant literature and local and national peer districts, there was no data to point to one successful model, so the administration intends to constantly monitor and revise our system based on any forthcoming research and analysis of our data. The review committee recommendations included the following: to provide frequent communication throughout the school year about assessment data to grade 4 families and help parents determine if they want their students to participate in the evaluation, to provide information to families about the process earlier and more often, starting in kindergarten, to eliminate grades from the placement criteria and replace with results of unit assessments, and to provide the performance criteria to teachers early in the process, as well as to share the information with families. The discussion was wide-ranging, including how to ensure equity and access, how to determine the rate of student acquisition of knowledge, making sure students understand the purpose of pretest, and the role of the ERB in decision-making. And the committee requested additional data about the weight of the criteria, and we'll continue with that conversation. In addition, our committee members approved the following contracts, which were then reviewed by purchasing and facility committees, which we'll get a report on shortly. One was for Adobe Creative Cloud, which is software that will replace other software that's no longer operated, and that's for almost $46,000 over 2 years. Another is to Discovery Education for videos and other media resources that are used to support student learning across content areas, and it's also linked directly to Blackboard. And this is a renewal of the software for just over $15,000 over 1 year. And the other is to EduTyping, which is a typing program which is utilized by students at the middle school level during computer class. So we were all very happy to hear that we are still teaching typing and not just texting. And this is a renewal of the software for $4,240 over 1 year. And these contracts were all reviewed in the other committee.
Just the EduTyping, I don't think was quite ready for facility, but the other three were.
Okay,
so.
but you will be reviewing it?
Yes, I think at
Okay.
the next meeting.
Great, thank you. And our next meeting is sometime in September, which I can remember. I'm just going to leave that at that right now.
Thank you, Dr. Gilbert.
Next, approval. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve the attached agreement, subject to solicitor review, with the Lancaster, Lebanon Intermediate Unit for the Adobe Creative Cloud software for the 15-16 and 16-17 school years in the amount of $22,857.50 per year.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the attached renewal of the MCIU service agreement for Discovery Education Streaming Plus in the amount of $15,247.50 for the 15-16 school year.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve the attached contract with Blackboard. This is subject to solicitor review, which will allow the continuation of the pilot to include more teachers and administrators for the 15-16 and 16-17 school year in the amount of $39,600 per year.
Any questions on the contract? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approves the student services items listed, agreements for students receiving non-district educational services identified as SS-1 through SS-10.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve the attached independent consultant contract with Ellen Madoff in the amount of $70 an hour for services as a school psychologist from July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve the attached independent consulting contract. This too is subject to solicitor review with Dr. Timothy A. Woods, not to exceed amount of $35,000 for physician services from July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016.
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will now have the report of the Facilities and Purchasing Committee by Mr. Driscoll.
No, thank you very much. The Facilities and Purchasing met this past Thursday, June 4th in this room, and we quite a list of items. The first, we did review the list of bills, and then we moved on to the purchasing report that included 3 items. First one being a contract for doing some renovations at Penn Wynn to try to create some more classroom space. A second one was to add a second chiller to Penn Wynn. There was, during a prior renovation, there was a space created in the roof for a second chiller, and now's the time to kind of, as they're aging out, to add a second one. We also reviewed, discussed a contract for some roof repairs at Penn Valley. We were having some leaks that then get into the insulation, causing some damage, so we have to carve that out and repair that. Much similar to what we discussed, we did discuss the contract for retaining a Timothy Wood PC for a medical issue, for medical diagnosis and support. We also reviewed a contract to install, George will probably have to correct me, I guess what I'd call virtual blackboards or some way for a teacher to deal with project computer images, kind of telestrate or write over it, and really integrate the blackboard, which is not what it is anymore, with the high-tech software that we're using in our classrooms. BC received those, I believe, last year, so Welsh Valley will get them this year. We also reviewed a contract to renew our rental of a boathouse with Heinz Rowing and Conshohocken. We discussed a contract with Presidio to perform an audit on our wireless connectivity and capacity at Welsh Valley. Reviewed a contract to replace our emergency batteries that provide backup power to some of the district's server equipment. This is very important because if that goes down, even for a split second, it can be very disruptive. So having the battery backup is essential. We did review the contracts as outlined by Dr. Gilbert. The Blackboard, which is being rolled out kind of as to also replace other software that we won't be using in a few years. So I think this is going to kind of consolidate our electronic efforts. also the Adobe and the Discovery Education Streaming Plus, as well as the student services for the psychological services by Ellen Madoff. We reviewed the contract to renew the lease with MELC. As we all know, the service they provide to us, to the district and our students. We also reviewed a contract for Barry Izette to inspect water collection basins at Harriton. We should retain the girl who wrote the essay about pervious asphalt. I don't know if Barry would hire her, but he should think about it. We just suggest that maybe he should retain her. We also reviewed a contract with PennDOT. This one was, I love, the price tag is $0, but it allows the district to interact on the web and receive information and submit requests with PennDOT, which helps in doing some of our land development issues. We had several change orders as we wrap up the construction at Gladwin and move forward with Welsh Valley with very good progress, which leads me to my last item. We did receive an update from Reynolds Construction. Welsh Valley is moving along well. The 12 classrooms should be done by the close of June, and then they'll move on into the foyer and administrative office space for July and August with a very tight deadline, but we're very optimistic that that'll happen. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 16th at 8:30 in this room. Thank you.
Under the business office and finance, we got a lot of motion. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take items B through K and then N through P as one motion. And then we're going to do L and M together since they're budgets. I'm going to do a roll call on those, okay? Yeah. Any objection? Okay.
Is there a diagram for that?
Just stay with me.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the administration recommends the following items for approval. Approve the list of bills, which were reviewed at the Facilities Committee. Approve the financial report for May 2015. Accept the donations from the Gladwin Elementary Home and School Association with pleasure pursuant to Policy 702. They are the following. 2 Gaga pits, which are valued between $8,000 and $10,000. A projection system for the library valued at $8,000. Painting of the lobby mural valued at $5,000. 15 laptop computers, which will replace those coming off of warranty, valued at $23,500, and 2 held hand microphones valued at $1,000. So that is between $45,500 and $47,500. So much thanks to the HSA. The next item is to approve Denise LaPera to continue as the role of Board Secretary for 2015, salary of $8,750. Appoint Victor Orlando as the Assistant Secretary of the Board, effective July 1st through June 30, 2016. Elect Christo Fear to continue as the Treasurer for a 1-year term, July 1st, 2015 to June 30, 2016. Set the bond for the Treasurer in the amount of $100,000 for the 15-16 school year pursuant to School Code 436 section. Approve the depositories for the school district funds for the 15-16 fiscal year as listed in the motion. Approve transfers in the 2014-15 budget and authorize the business manager to make additional transfers in the 14-15 budget as required by the school district auditors. Approve the capital fund transfer. Appoint Kenneth Ruse of Warsaw Pearlstein as solicitor for the school district for the 15-16 school year as per the attachment. Approve maintaining the 2014-15 nutrition services prices for the 15-16 school year. So there's no increase in lunch prices for the upcoming school year. And then declare surplus equipment as surplus property and authorize the disposal of those as per the attachment.
Before I call for questions, I just want to take a moment to thank with gratitude the Gladwin Home and School Association for their generous donation they're setting the bar pretty high for the rest of the elementary schools. So those of us with elementary children need to get busy with our fundraising as well. So thank you again to the Gladwin Home and School for some items that I'm sure our students and teachers will really appreciate, and administrators as well. So with that, are there any questions or comments on any of the motions?
Can I
Please.
just also acknowledge the services of the people who are renewing their contracts, Ken and Denise and Victor, because we rely on them so heavily.
Absolutely, with pleasure. We will gladly bring you back on in a moment. So any questions or comments? All right, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried.
Okay, the next two items, L and M, deal with the 15-16 school district budget. So the first item is the administration recommends the Board of School Directors adopts the 2015-16 homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution. What this is annually at this time of the year, after the state has declared how much money would be allocated for the homestead program, most notably the gambling money that comes back to the taxpayer. So in this case, for the coming year, it's $3,473,652.40 will be allocated to 15,562 approved homesteads. What that means is basically the exclusion amount would be $8,509, which would equate to $223.21 of reduction due to the homestead. It's about $1 increase from last year. So that is the one resolution. The second one is the adoption of the budget. So the administration recommends the Board of School Directors adopts the 2015-16 school budget for the Lower Merion School District for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2015, and ending June 30, 2016. The total budget is $246,266,565. It also sets the tax rate of 26.2321 mils by adopting the budget resolution, and further adopts the real estate tax resolution and also the items listed in the 11 items on the agenda. And I believe, Kevin, you do a roll call?
One roll call for those items.
So we're doing L and M together? With one roll call. Got it. Okay, so before we do that, I just want to thank the administration for the vigilant work on the budget, preserving the current programs, as well as bringing down the tax increase or the tax burden to our constituents. So huge thanks to the team in terms of working through that, and we look forward to the upcoming school year with the budget that will maintain the programs as they have been and exceed expectations, as we do here in Lower Merion. So with that, we will do a roll call vote. Ms. LaPera? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, questions, right? I do that first.
No, you need a motion.
Okay, so are there any questions or comments on either motion? Okay, is there a motion to approve? There a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. LaPera?
Thank you. Dr. Gilbert?
Aye.
Ms. Pollard?
Aye.
Ms. Robinson?
Aye.
Mr. Driscoll?
Aye.
Dr. O'Leary?
Aye.
Ms. Ackman? Dr. Golden?
Aye.
Ms. DiBonaventura?
Aye.
Dr. Van Lynch?
Aye.
That is 9 yeses, all in favor.
Motion carries 9-0. Thank you.
Okay, under the facilities and operations, Mr. Driscoll went over all the items, so I'm going to take them all on motion. That's A through.
Vic, could you separate B, please?
I'm sorry, which one?
I have a conflict on B.
B, okay.
Thank you.
So we'll take item A and then C through I in one motion, and we'll come back and do B separately. Okay. So the administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve the following items under the purchasing report to award the bids for modifications to the HVAC unit and also the chiller repair / replacement at Penwood Elementary, and also the roof repairs at Penn Valley Elementary. Approve the lease agreement with Heinz Rowing for the upcoming year for the Lower Marion High School crew team. Total amount is $31,824.99. Approve the agreement with PennDOT to register and be permitted electronic access to the engineering construction management system. Approve Barry Isett and Associates to provide additional professional services for the inspection of the Harrington High School basin and stormwater management for an amount not to exceed fee of $3,600 and revised total of $10,500. Approve the statement of work and quote from Presidio Network regarding the wireless site survey at Walsh Valley Middle School, an amount of $14,400. Approve the Starlight Productions quote for classroom projection system at Walsh Valley Middle School in the amount of $532,680. Approve the E-Plus quote for the UPS battery upgrade support. That's $42,046. And then approve the change orders for the additions and alterations at Gladwin Elementary and the the Walsh Valley Middle School projects.
Any questions or comments on the motions? Is there a motion to approve? There's second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the final motion is the administration recommends that Board of School Directors approve the attached lease agreement with Montgomery Early Learning Center for before and after school care during the 15-16 school year for a total of $22,500.
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
There's second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry, any abstentions? Dr. O'Leary abstained. My apologies. Motion carries. Back on again here. Okay. We will now move to the Policy Committee meeting update from Ms. Robinson.
Thank you, Dr. Van Lynch. The Policy Committee met with the Curriculum Committee. It is a joint meeting on June 1st, 2015. We reviewed the following policies for a second reading. Policy 245, Suicide Prevention and Self-Harming Behavior. This policy fulfills our state mandate to have a policy preventing student suicide before July 1st, 2015. Policy 124, extracurricular and co-curricular activities. This policy defines extracurricular and co-curricular activities and that the board believes that these are educational experiences that students learn from inside and outside of the classroom or outside of the regular curriculum. This policy does not apply to interscholastic, intramural, or club sports. We reviewed Policy 151, Student Athletics, which does cover interscholastic, intramural, and club sports. Pursuant to the district strategic plan and within the confines of budgetary limitations, the board supports a district athletic program designed to encourage and provide an opportunity for students of all ages and abilities to develop gross and fine motor skills, good sportsmanship, and cooperation, not just in the context of the educational program, but also through a variety of team-oriented and individual athletic activities. Therefore, in addition to physical education as a required subject, extracurricular athletic participation is made available to students on a continuing basis. We reviewed Policy 123, Student Eligibility for Participation in Extracurricular Activities for repeal. And that's all the second readings. Do we want to take a vote on that first, since it requires a vote?
Mr. Roos, we do, yes, all right. So the following policies were reviewed for a second reading. Policy 245, Suicide Prevention and Self-Harming Behavior. Policy 124, Extracurricular and Co-curricular Activities. Policy 151, Student Athletics. And Policy 123, Student Eligibility for Participation in Extracurricular Activities for repeal. Are there any questions or comments on any of those policies? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay. I'll continue on with the rest of the report. For first reading, we reviewed 3 policies, and there were 3 policies that we needed additional information on. So Policy 217, Promotion and Graduation Requirements, a revised focus on graduation only, and promotion will be covered in Policy 215 was discussed. This policy confirms district will follow graduation requirements under state law, including Keystone examinations. Policy 118, independent study, and this is for suspension, as this is not a current practice of the district due to financial and other limitations. We're recommending that this policy be reviewed for suspension until a future time when it can be reinstated. Policy 244, educational research by outside parties. We're proposing a suspension of this policy until a future date when the educational research by third parties on our students is appropriate or warranted. The suspension of this policy does not preclude the district itself from engaging consultants to conduct research for district-related purposes as deemed necessary. And 3 policies are being reviewed for additional administrative input. Policy 127, AIDS, a course of study, will now be called Communicable Diseases, a course of study. And this policy is not yet being recommended for a first read. Policy 128, Instrumental Music, which will be reviewed comprehensively to become a policy regarding arts and music education. And this policy is not yet being recommended for a first read. And Policy 129, Scholars Program of Study. This policy is being updated for consistency in current practice and is not yet being recommended for a first reading. The next meeting of the Policy Committee will be held on September 18th at 8:30 a.m. in this room.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. I believe there are no other committee reports, am I correct, colleagues? Okay. So at this time, I will take audience recognition on agenda or non-agenda items only. If there's anyone who would like to make public comment, please come to sign in with Ms. LaPera and let us know the general vicinity of where you live in the district, and there is a 3-minute time limit.
Hi, my name is Tanya Schreiber, and I live in Penwyn. This March, a Lower Merion child reported a bus driver for inappropriate behavior. The driver was forcing children to hug him before he would open the door and let them off. He told the children he loved them more than anyone else did, and he taught them code words intended to convey his love. When the school heard of this, they called other riders into the office to corroborate the story. And when the school day ended, the same accused bus driver was there to pick them up. He was also their driver the next day, but with an aide. His manager says the driver is just old-fashioned, just needs retraining, and will be allowed to return to his job. Despite violating policies, he will keep his job because the police found him innocent of criminal conduct. No one disputes that. No one accused him of criminal conduct, sexual abuse, neglect. But I ask, should that be our standard? How many employees are currently working in this school district after similar accusations? What message does this send to the children brave enough to come forward? Why can't we provide these children with the same protections we would offer employees? If a group of women had come forward accusing a coworker of unwanted physical contact, of locking them in until they did what he wanted, would that man still have a job? No way. There were so many lapses exposed in this situation. Why weren't the parents informed before the kids were questioned? Why wasn't a driver pulled from service immediately? Why are employees held to the criminal conduct standard instead of the policies as written? Ultimately, we have to question the dangers created when we give employees the benefit of the doubt instead of ensuring every employee not treat children like this. It's 2015, and we know better than this. We know how many children have been irrevocably harmed by this type of management. I feel the school district should carefully think about their commitment to student safety, the training received by both employees and managers, as well as how students view their ability to report. Please review the situation, review the employee files to see if there are other instances swept under the rug, and consider your opportunity to send a different message to that first brave child that came forward. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. The board takes your comment very seriously, and the administration will look into this situation further. So thank you so much for coming forward. Okay, in accordance with Act 93 of 1998, Sunshine Law, the Board of Directors met in executive information sessions on the following dates and discussed June 1st, Human Resources Committee personnel, June 8th, executive session personnel. Upcoming meeting dates: Thursday, July 16th, Facilities and Purchasing, 8:30 a.m. Monday, July 20th, regular board business meeting, 8 p.m. And with that, we are adjourned. Have a good night.
Thank you.
We realized the meeting is over. We actually wanted to just read a very brief statement as a cabinet. So sorry.
Okay, Doug, please.
It's okay. So Dr. Marseille, we wanted to thank you for your service as acting superintendent over the past year. It's been a privilege to serve in your administration. We're grateful for your excellent leadership and friendship over this year and the last 7 years in the district. It has been a joy coming to work and being part of this tremendous team. Thank you for all you've done to create the conditions for positive change in our school community. Your energy, enthusiasm, thoughtfulness, and unyielding commitment to the children of Lower Merion has inspired all of us. This was a memorable year, and you very capably set the tone. Thank you very much.
Let me just echo the administration's statement to Dr. Marseille and thank him for his leadership in coming in at a very transitional and difficult time with the district, and we appreciate all that you've done over the last several months on the board's behalf.
Thank you.
So we now are officially adjourned.